Evening. We welcome you all to the Resilience and Relationship Maintenance session organized by Tasbih Media, Mindlizam, Great Minds, World Forum for Sri Lankan Muslims, and Matram TV. This will be conducted by Assistant Psychologist, Mental Health Life Mentor at University of Suffolk, UK, Mrs. Zamrud Padun Sherifuddin. Now, let's go into the session.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And hello, everybody. Today, our session is like resilience and maintaining your relationship. So, as you guys are not very much fond of speaking to me, I thought I start speaking to you all. Usually, when we speak about resilience, if you guys have any issues or anything on the middle, you can raise your hands. I will address y'all if possible. Otherwise, what you can do is you can have your questions on your papers and can put on the chat or end of the session, or I will ask on the middle. If you prefer to talk, you can talk to me, or you can now put on the chat. Right. So let's talk about resilience. What do you know about resilience? Like what it connects to us. All this information we are going to talk about. And mainly when it comes to resilience, we have to talk about stress. Stress is something we have to deal with. That's what we are going to do. That's what the main aspect of resilience we're going to look at. So I wanted you all to wanted to think about what is stress, and then how you can manage your stress. And the third question is, what might cause it? And then how it can affect in your life. All those questions, I wanted you all to think about it when I was talking about this resilience. So, I know, you guys, if you guys interested about talking about that, you can say in advance, or raise your hand. Otherwise, maybe I might start going on to the other slide. Okay. Yeah, doesn't look like anybody is willing to talk to me. Okay, then let's start. What is resilience? So resilience is something, as I think it's just a step, looking after your well-being and how to deal the pressure in your life. And also we are going to talk about it's how to reduce your stress. And again, I ask you to think about what is stress. So when later on I will be talking about the stress as well. So first we will talk about what is resilience anyway. So mainly we say it will develop emotional stability. Resilience is something which will be something emotional stability, what we call. So resilience is it's not an ability to bounce back, but it's kind of how you face your challenges in every circumstances, and how do you maintain your well-being. And then and also when you say resilience, it's not just a personality, it's a personality trait. It's something which doesn't which doesn't get into your body, or it comes from your gene or something. It comes from every you can make steps to build resilience and increase your amount of resilience in life very easily. So that's what I have to say in this topic. And then I also wanted to say, when you when you talk about resilience, again, like when you wanted to like, explain more about resilience, it's a kind of a ability to like, quickly face the like, difficulties, but come out of that difficulties very easily. That's kind of like, one of the way of saying what is resilience. And also kind of like, do you think like if a person is like, very resilient person, okay, the person has like enough resilience, that it doesn't mean they don't like, face like emotional pains or sadnesses, and also like, they don't have any adverse experiences in their life. It's not like that. They have their own like, way of facing the problems, and also like, they have like, very bad instances they would have faced, but they have like developed the capacity to like how to handle all those problems. Okay, so then it's kind of like, ability to do bounce back for like, stressful life, and then like, kind of like it's kind of like you don't avoid like stress, but you have to face the stress, or like how to face the stress. You learn that capacity. That is called resilience. So somebody raised the hand. So I would like to hear you guys like, a lot. Can I explain in Tamil? Can you explain in Tamil? Well, this is an English program, so we are not going to talk about things in Tamil. This is specifically we are going to speak in English. So if you're like interested about speaking Tamil, we have a Tamil programs. You can join on those programs, I guess. That's one of the, maybe like in 2 weeks time, we may have the same topic in Tamil as well for you all to like, join in that. So we're going to learn how to build resilience. So how to build resilience is like you can make connections and accept help from other people, and then care. Uh, like, you have to like, you have to get support from like who care you, from those people, and then like avoid crisis, like avoid seeing crisis as like in some, it's kind of like, you can't like say those like, crisis as what you say, I can't face crisis, kind of like that kind of a thing. So you need to like look at it as kind of you shouldn't look at it as like insurmountable, like, problems kind of. And so that's one of the things you have to think about it. The other word, like, yeah, that's, I haven't pronounced it properly, I guess. Insurmountable problems. Okay, don't worry. Do you know anybody like what is that meant by? Yeah, that word is like, what it's exactly what you say. Is like if you are seeing a crisis, or kind of a, what do you say, if you're seeing a crisis in your life, you shouldn't look at it as a problem which you cannot solve that problem, that kind of a thing. That's what meant by that word. So who is that? Somebody else, like Fatima. Okay, can you unmute Shahir? Fatima. No, not Fatima. Her name is Fasmina. Fasmina, sorry.
It's okay. That means too great to be overcome, like,
Yes.
insurmountable problem. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
insurmountable problems means like something you cannot like, it's a big problem, kind of like you shouldn't treat it as such. When there's a crisis, is you shouldn't treat it, that crisis, as like it's a big problem. I cannot like do anything. It's a too great problem, kind of like that. Yeah, do you understood that? Anyway, that's fine. I just wanted to explain that actually. Okay, thank you very much, Fasmina. Well, the other one is like, you just have to like, accept changes, and like changes are part of your life. So you need to accept it as such. And then the next issue is like, next thing is like when you wanted to build your like, resolutions, um, resilience, what you have to do is make towards your goals. So like you have to always move towards your goals, where or every goals, your goals are kind of, how do you see that? Your goals are like, important in your life, and you have to work on it. That's what you have to do when you like, wanted to build your resilience. And the next one is take decisive actions and look at opportunities for self-discovery, and nurture a positive view of yourself. So you have to, you might understand that as well. I don't have to explain that, I think. And then keep things in perspective and maintain helpful outlook and take care of yourself. All those things like, build your resilience. The other one is, what is the benefit of being resilient? Okay, decrease depressive symptoms or increase emotional well-being. So when you build your like, benefits of resilience are like, it will like, decrease your depressive symptoms, and you will be like, good in your emotional well-being. Improve working memory. Working memory is a very short memory, and then if you are resilient enough, that will improve your memory. And other one is improve your sleep, improve your immune systems, and then improve your relationship. Also improve coping when we experience emotional disruptions. Okay, so we will look for the 5 pillars of resilience. 5 pillars of resilience are like, it's a very helpful thing, and which will make you like, think and work towards resilience. And like, bring yourself like, look at you as a like, resilient person in a like in the world. And also it will like, bring a positive experience in your life as well. And you will feel like, you, if you maintain these 5 pillars of resilience, you will become a like, okay, there was a, on a background there was a like, vehicle going around, so it might be, can you all hear me very well? Okay. So you can like, that will make you feel you are a whole person if you have a like, if you maintain like these pillars. So what are these pillars means? These are these pillars like, self-awareness. The next one is mindfulness and self-care, positive relationship, and purpose. So these skills, what happens is like these skills like, if you need, it will develop you in practice. Like when you have to practice these skills very often to become resilience. So kind of like, when you say it's like resilience, if you wanted to explain again, the resilience is, now if you get a like, lime in your life, like you have to like make a lemonade. So it's like, positive things where we explain every time something like, very stressful situation or crisis as, this is a bad experience, I don't like this experience. That kind of a way, like, we look at things. So this is one of the way we have to like, look at, if you have something bad, then you achieve that like through in a different way. So we're going to say like, one by one, what is like, self-awareness, which is like, a clear perception of your personality. you know what is your personality, like you understand about it and you work on that, like you strengthen it, like you identify your weaknesses, you identify your strength, and you mold your thoughts and beliefs, and also like you also like motivate yourself and emotionally and all the ways. So this is kind of a like self-awareness and mindfulness again, like stay in active, like always your state of stay in a state of active emotions, or like how do you say, kind of like your thoughts and feelings has to be like kept in a like observed way, where you can like look at it and identify it and feel it, understand it, all kind of this kind of a way of lifestyle is a mindfulness is. And then the next one is like self-care, where like you have to think like everyone is unique people, and understand your differences and identify what is self-care for you. Sometimes like imagine like if you were talking about love, people say this is love to me, this is love to me. So you understand yourself, what is love to me, what is caring for me. These are the things which is called like self-care. So when there is like multiple challenges you have to face, you have like enough energy, and then like you build your confidence and you look after yourself, which is self-care. And positive relationship, again the relationship, when it comes we look at it as kind of the connection which is like positive to our emotions. If you are having a like relationship which is not positive to your emotion, we ask, like as psychologists we ask people to avoid from that. So that's one of the way you can look at positive relationship. And the purpose, what you say is like what is a big purpose of your life. Some people, if you're a religious person, they will say like they wanted to achieve like okay, I wanted to go to paradise. Some people say I have to go to this position. Some people say it's like they have different purpose in their life. So you have to identify your purpose, and then you have to work on that, and you have to work what you say continuously to achieve that. That's kind of a purpose of your life. Right. So now it's time for us to talk about the stress. So all this time we have been talking about the resilience. So what is resilience is kind of a like how to manage your stress. The way of managing stress is resilience. So what is stress now? Like when you look at this, what do you say? When you look at these slides, what to say is the goal of the stress is like your body strength and energy need to be protected yourself. Okay, that's the goal of the stress. So what happens is the way your body respond to the like emotional demand is called stress. So the stress can be bad or good. It's one of the way you can like treat stress. So different people have different way of looking at stress. Now, when stress become advantageous, because like you will achieve this stress to like face your challenges and your goals, like achieving your goals. You really need a stress. And also like stress help to accomplish tasks, and also like it boosts your memory as well. So stress is very good for your memory. Sometimes like stress work on other way around as well. You will like how do you say, like you will lose your memory as well. So it works in different way, but most of the time when you have a positive stress, that will improve your memory. And also kind of it's like if you perceive a stress, okay, kind of like health wise, like it will improve your health as well. The what do you call positive stress will help you to improve your stress as well. And if there is a negative stress, that will weaken your immune system, and also it will increase your blood pressure and become fatigue and depression. It will increase and become anxiety as well, and you also can become a heart disease. So how this stress, how do you make your stress positive or negative, is in your hand. You have to make it. Do you guys understand? Can you put yes or no on the chat box, please? I don't see any responses. Can you guys understand? Is that clear for you all? How resilience work and how stress work? Hello? Yeah? Okay. Yes. Okay. Fasmina says more on details. Okay. Somehow we will be talking about stress, some more information, how we can make stress positive and how we can make negative. We're going to talk about that anyway. Somehow, yeah, I'm happy that you can understand what I'm saying. The main thing is stress can be bad thing or a good. It's one of the way it will work. It depends on your resilience, the capacity you deal with your emotional demand. Okay, so right. So recognizing a bad stress, a negative stress, is you will have a memory problem. As I told you, you will if you have if you have a positive stress, you will have good memory. If you don't have a positive stress, that will make memory issues. So when you have a negatively perceived your stress, means you will have memory problems and inability to concentrate, and you will also have moodiness, kind of mood swings, kind of you feel you will be shouting at home, kind of treating people bad, treating yourself bad, that kind of a thing. It's called moodiness. And aches and pains, where people may have neck pain, body pain, especially bones pain. These kind of pains you will have when you have negative perceived stress. And increased sicknesses, some people have nausea and things like that also. Some people they feel sleeping too much or too little. These issues they have in their life. So now we are going to talk about how to turn your negative stress into positive. So we just it is important, we have to remember that our brain always see things negatively. So it's hardwired as such. So if you are experiencing negative things, it will always look at it first negatively. So you need to explain your brain every time, stop. Okay, stop. Don't think negatively. All the things are going to be positively. So you need to breathe yourself and then explain your brain, please act before you emotionally react on those negative things, you have to explain that. So this doesn't come easily. you have to train yourself every time. You have to inform this, remember this thing, and inform your brain and train yourself. This is how it works. And kind of like, you can use sense of humor to like, make it, come on, look at me, like you don't work like that. Kind of like, you can imagine and explain your brain like that. And then recognize like, and acknowledge all those mistakes. And kind of like when people do mistakes, or like when people do things badly, especially like when we see our parenting skills, when we look at the parenting skills, we say like, when children do bad things, or like when they do things like mistakenly, you just have to make it as like fun, say them like, make it as a joke, and then look at yourself and say, no, this is kind of like, these children are behaving in this way. It's their nature. It's their nature. And then they have to like, you have to make it as fun to like, make them feel good. So then you will build a lot of resilience on them. And then you will get enough resilience as well. And other way is like, you need to like listen to things, and listen to things, comfort, and when people are expressing sadnesses, and your sadnesses as well. When you have sadnesses coming up, you need to calm yourself and listen to you, and like, comfort yourself. Kind of like every time, like when we experience sadnesses, how do we deal? Can anybody say or would like to talk? I would like to listen from you all a lot than me talking. It's very rare, like, this English audience don't talk a lot. Can somebody say about it? Like, how do you deal your sadnesses as normal person before you learn to resilience? Would you like to put in, if you don't want to talk out, you can, yeah, somebody. Yeah, Fasmina speaks. Fasmina. Can you, Shahir, can you unmute her?
Hi, assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I'm unmuted.
Yeah.
What I do is actually I stay silent, and then I do something good to the person who actually made me, they put me in stress, right? So what I do is I do something nice to them. So
Okay.
so it makes
Right.
them actually happy, and then I see, okay, fine, no problem, I forgive them, because that's what Islam says. I mean,
Yes.
forgive before you sleep. So
Yeah.
that's in my
One
mind,
of
but
the
then
way. Yeah.
but
It's
to
something
forget is
like,
very difficult.
it is very hard. It's not the easy thing to do, but then
It's,
again, you have to train yourself. That's what I was trying to say. Kind of, yeah.
yeah, it's
And
so difficult, because the ones you loved, when they hurt you, it's very difficult.
it
uh,
is.
so but you have to control, and you say, okay, maybe they don't see what you see, right?
Yes.
But it's very tough, I know.
It is very tough thing. You have to
Yeah,
train this, like you have to, I mean, I don't know if you are a mother or like, somebody.
I'm a mother, yeah.
Yes. When you
Totally
become a
sure.
mother, yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice actually. When you become a mother, you need to train your children on that. When we started saying, like, when we used to shout out at our children sometimes, we used to say like when things happens, like, um, when things happens like what we wanted, it doesn't happen as such, then we react on that, like we shout at our children and we make them not being resilient. This is how we are doing it. So we need to control our, like, feelings and emotions about things, and then we have to explain things very easily. So that's really nice, Fasmina. Like, and I really like you, like, speaking you speaking out. It's very hard, like, just speaking is just looking at the, like, you know, screen and speak. I really want somebody to speak, kind of like, you know, in this audience, never, like, you know, keep on talking. And yes, that's good. Yeah. Okay, we'll go to the other slide and look at, like, you know, what is like how we could like make our things positive. Okay, the next one is like, you know, show gratitude. How Fasmina showed, like, show gratitude to other people, and also like express hope. Like, you know, when people, like, you know, lose, or like when you have, like, you know, negative stress, express hope. It's for you as well. It's not for other people. It's for you. Like, you need to express hope within yourself. You need to say, I am hopeful. I am doing this, I'm doing that. You have to say that. And also, like, you know, demonstrate compassion for other people as well. You have to do that. If you do that, if you learn to practice all these habits, you will, like, you know, make your stress as, like, you know, positive every time. And you will build your resilience. And then draw strength and supportive relationship. So those things, you have to do that. Okay, so next one is, like, you know, signs of like happiest person. No, happiest persons are like people with loads of resilience. These are the people like they have enough resilience to be happy. They, like, you know, build like, you know, good relationship. And they used to have, like, you know, mindset, like, you know, giving mindset. And also they used to have, like, they make all decision kind of integrity. And also they practice mindfulness. So, like, happiest person, like, when you look at, like, when you compare this slide, the slide, like I was talking about how to build your resilience, this connects a lot. Can you see that? Do you guys see that? Like, can you can I see some of the yes or no, like, you know, anything different? Yeah. So can you, like, look at all those things, like how it connects, like, you know, the signs of a happiest person, and then, like, you know, how to build your resilience? Is there some connections? How do you think? No, like, what do you feel about it? Can you tell me? How do you feel that? Again, yeah, there is a connection. Only, like, you know, Fasmina is more active compared to anybody. Like, can you be active, guys? Yeah. Right. Okay. Anyway, so we were talking about, like, you know, practicing mindfulness. I explained what is mindfulness earlier. And then they also have, like, you know, good emotional boundaries, and exercise patience, and also they upgrade their happiness to joy. So what is the difference between happiness to joy? Happiness is something, like, you know, very short term. But when it kind of, like, you know, when you look at the joyness is a bit extreme compared to. So they make it, they enjoy their life. That's kind of the way they behave. Okay, so now this is we're going to, like, look at the next topic, how to maintain the relationship. So why are we talking about relationship, healthy relationship? Is this going to be like something you have a relationship with your husband and wife relationship, or family? This is going to be a relationship with anybody. You can be, like, you know, it can be your friend, or it can be your family member, children, and husband, anything. So that's what we are going to talk about in this specific area. It's not just your husband. You can take it like your partners also. This one as a, like, you know, one of the way of to maintaining good relationship, healthy relationship. And healthy relationship is very important to build your resilience. It's very important. So you really have to practice healthy relationship to maintain your resilience. So again, when we talk about healthy relationship, as people, we have like different needs. Okay, so I mean, for you to have a relationship, there will be some kind of a needs, and the person you are having relationship will be having a different need to maintain your relationship. So for that, if you wanted to have a healthy relationship, that means you need to communicate with them. You need to have a space, maintain a space. And again, like if you are a person, like the person who is going to have a relationship as a partner, then you have to have a very good sexual feelings about that specific thing, and you need to maintain a good have an affection on that. And then you need to have shared hobbies and values on that. All those things you have to have it to maintain a healthy relationship. And then the relationship you all had, like you are having in this time, will be different from the age, earlier age of yours. That's what I'm trying to say about like 20s and 30s. So children will be having a relationship with the parent on a different way. Yeah. And then they will when they grow up, they will have a relationship with their parents on a different way, for example. So what I was trying to say is, most of the time, like I've heard like a lot of women or parents talking about, my child is always baby for me. This is one of the statement people say, especially parents says. It's not like that. Every time the child grow up, you need to give space for them. You need to, the love you give is a different for them. And then what they the love they see from you and wanted to achieve is different for them. All those things changes. So you need to identify it and give that to make your relationship healthier. So this is I don't know, I'm not very sure whether this was looked at early days of our life, kind of our parents looked at it or not. I'm not very sure about it. But what nowadays, the healthy relationship, if you want to maintain, you need to look at it, all those things. Look at all those things. And you need to maintain a good adaptability. If you don't have a good adaptability in your in your thing, then you have to you need to face lots of problems. That's what I was saying. So now you can't say every time, my child is a baby for me. You can't treat like that. You don't treat like that as such, isn't it? You don't treat them. You always look after them in a different way. When they grow up, you don't feed them. When they grow up, you don't dress them, isn't it? But how do you look at that child every time as a baby? It's a challenging question and challenging treatment for those children as well. So these are things you have to adapt it. You have to change it. Look at your relationship and look at what they require. And those things, if you change yourself, then your relationship will be healthier. It's not just a family relationship. Even if your husband, the first time you get married to him, it is different. And then after you had your child, it's different needs he might be having. And then even the wife also, both spouses, both of them have to look at those relationships every time in a different way, and you need to be creative about it as well. And then you need to adapt the circumstances and work on it to maintain a good relationship. That's what I wanted to talk about this. And then characteristics of healthy relationship. Okay, Sabri. Sapri Makin, I think. Yeah, he has raised his hand. Can you unmute him as well before we go to characteristics of a healthy relationship? Hello.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Regarding this, in this critical situation, children at home, they
Yes.
have no the peers because they don't attend the school. No, actually, the parents have to be a peers of children. Can you advise how can we be peers of for children in this age to reduce their stress like that? We are playing like that too. But can you advise more? We have to be peers for the children.
Yeah, that's one of the way, like, you maintain. Usually what happens is they look at you and grow up. Normally, children look at you and grow up. Like how you behave, how you manage your stress, how much resilience you have. These are things they look at you. They look at you and they admire you as well. I mean, if you start working on that and you maintain your resilience and you maintain your stress management, and then they will learn to manage their stress. Sometimes what happens is, like, we have a very short space in our house. We don't plan our work. Early in the morning, we don't plan our work, isn't it? So maybe what you could do is early morning when you wake up, like kind of like you have your work, your wife's work, your children's work to look after. So you have to plan it, and it's just not just you sit and plan for your, like, your convenience. You have to speak to these people as well. So early in the morning, wake up and you do your, like, morning activities, and have a 5 or 15 minutes space how you can plan your work, today's work. And then end of the day, then you can sit down and speak to these people how you have achieved that thing. So when you do this regularly with your children, they have a time to speak to you. We have a two ways, communication ideas, and they know this is how you have to work. So this is one of the way when we had, when our family, when we were facing this pandemic time, during the pandemic time, we used to do that kind of a thing because it was very new for us. Both of us, me and my husband, used to work. And we had children as well. We have our children, and they have to work on Zoom as well. So we all in our family, like we were five of us, and five of us have to have each of us has to have equipment and plan our equipment. So we didn't have equipment like that. Actually, I had my laptop and his laptop, and my children were having a small equipment once in a way, and they share it. So it was a new thing for us to handle and how to manage it. So we have to speak to these children and sit down and work on it. And we have to work from morning to afternoon, managing at home as well. So this you have to explain to your children. This is how these maybe your house circumstances are different, right? So it will be work on a different way. So you need to explain that children. Sometimes parents think, well, my children will not understand my problem. Not really. They understand very well. When they grow, even if the child is 4 years or 5 years, they understand. Even if they don't understand fully, they will understand half of it, and they will trust you. They will trust you, and they will build a leadership skill as well when you talk to them and share your problem. So one of the way you can deal that kind of a thing, because the pandemic is a new condition we are facing, isn't it? So when we face a new condition, we need to speak to and communicate with our children and our family. You need to, like, maybe your wife might be, like, having a different schedule of work and different needs in this. And there was I had a client came to me and saying, pandemic is the best time I had. That's what they said. She was an European client, and she was saying that. So when I asked her why, well, I had a time with my children together. With my my family played together. We had activities, outside activities, and all kind of things. Maybe these are things will make your children look at you as a peer. She will those children will say, admire you, started to work, started to look at you and work how you are working, maybe. And that will reduce your stress as well, I guess. If you plan early morning and then this is how you have to work, maybe, I don't know, I have addressed exactly which you are expecting, or this is not a right thing for you, it doesn't suit you, then you can give me a shout saying no, it's yeah, yes, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, how peers in the sense you need to spend time with them, talk to them and communicate with them, identify their issues, and start keep time for them. All these things will make to look at you as a peers. It's not just playing involved. Peers means what happens is they look at you, they listen to you, they work with you. Those are things make good resilience, build up good resilience and healthy relationship as well with your children. And also that's kind of what happens, look at them, you as a peer. Hope I have answered you. Okay, so mainly we are going to talk about characteristics of healthy relationship. So the one of the relationship is communication, open communication, where you need to talk to them on everything. Every time you have to speak about your success and their success, their failures, everything. They will be very open to you. That's again, the brother was talking about the peering aspect. This will improve your that kind of needs. You need to talk about it. They should be now if you have a friend or somebody, you will be easily talking to you about it, these aspects of your life. You will not hide those. You don't have a doubt about things. So, okay, somebody says it's difficult to communicate openly within a member and the family. Okay. Why it is difficult? If you accept them as it is, it won't be difficult. I mean, mainly the main thing is if you trust a person, if you if you really have a good relationship with that person, then you will not have a difficulty in talking to these people, your family member, or your husband or your child it will become your friend. They will look at you, they will be very close to you if you trust them, and also if they trust you as well. So you need to build all these qualities in your family, or whoever, if you wanted to build up a good relationship, you need to build up. It's you have to work on it from the early stage itself. You have to work on it, and then you all have to you need to treat other person as a separate person as well. They have their own willingness. They know. I mean, once when we were talking to one of my service user, this person was saying, the husband was saying, yeah, she called me for for a shopping, and when I say like my ideas and my things, she doesn't accept it. She says it's not nice. I mean, if you say this dress is not nice on you, that's his perception, isn't it? And you have a different perception, means you have to say that this is my perception, so you need to agree with that and accept it. Well, you're going to wear this dress, so your perception is much important compared to mine, so you can wear that dress, that's fine. That's a normal thing. So like that, you have to take all of your ideas, and treat each, they have different perceptions, and you have to treat each of them like separately. They are separate people. They don't have to always adjust everything. So these are things like, if you consider, you will not feel you can't speak to them easily. And curiosity, well, all sometimes I used to say, if you have a healthy relationship with this person, and then you should be interested about their thoughts, goals, and daily their daily life. For example, now when you look at this husband and wife relationship, most of the time husband will be achieving in their financial stability, and then educational stability, and lifestyle stability. The wife will be most of the time at home and looking after their houses, their children, and all kind of things. So it's a duty for a Islamic wife to look after their child, the family's child, and husband's properties and everything. It's important thing. At the same time, a husband has a duty as well to look after his wife, looking she has to be after some, if there is a crisis or something, she has to face that. So you need to encourage the wife to learn some kind of a skill, face the world, and other things as well, financial stability as well. These are things we have to look in our daily lifestyles. So the next aspect, so times kind of in healthy relationship, the much you have to give time for them, and you have to committed on your relationship, and you also have to give time to be apart as well. You have to concentrate on that. Other thing is playfulness and lightheartedness. Every time you need to be they're easy to laugh at somebody. You need to share things easy. That's the healthy relationship. As you somebody said we can't communicate easily with family. In that case, you don't have a healthy relationship in that family condition or that relationship condition. So you need to look at what is the difference I have to do with and make it easier. So other thing is physical intimacy. Again, you know what is intimacy. It's a sexual relationship. So you need to look at if you are a husband and wife, or a partner. So you need to look at these people, both parties, sexual needs, and healthy way of looking at it. Talk about it, and share your emotions about those intimacy. And then teamwork. Every time when we see family members, what they do is they keep on complaining about each other, and then they say this is not working on me, this is not working on him, I cannot compromise this, I cannot compromise that, all kind of things. So if you guys have a proper communication, as I say, at least weekly communication, or kind of a monthly meetings in your families, and kind of you sit down and talk about all those information, will make you effective and work like as a team very easily. So kind of a conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is like kind of like, yes, all of that, like, when we have a relationship, or like when we maintain a relationship, we always don't have always like everything goes smoother. So usually when things are not going smoother, we do have like fights and like, disagreements in our life. So most of the time when you have that, you need to sort out and like, address it in a healthier way. That is the healthy way of solving your conflicts. That's all the like, most of the like, how to maintain your healthy relationship. So if you like, as we were talking about, like somebody was talking about, there is a communication issues. What is that? Somebody was saying, yes, we must change our daily schedules. Yes, that's how, yes. Right. That's how you have to do. Like, thank you for your, feedback, brother. So now, like, we are going to see the red flags of the relationship. If you have problem in your relationship, how do you identify it? How do you feel there is a problem in your relationship? As the person who was saying, I cannot open myself, I cannot talk to my family easily. So that's one of the way you identify there is an issue in that relationship. So you need to look at it, how I have to change that, or like how I have to like feel my arrange my lifestyle to like, come out of that issues. You need to look at it. So kind of like, when you have a like, red flag in your relationship, you will feel like you feel like very anxious about the relationship. You won't be able to talk in that relationship, very stressful, and not happy about your partner or like the person who you are having a relationship, those kind of things. And you will be like, to maintain that relationship, you will have a struggle. There are a few people like I have seen, like they would be very nice and like very happy staying at home, doing their work. When their husband is like returning home, they'll be very stressful and they say, I need to clean the house, I need to do that, I need to do this, he will not like this, and all kind of things. They'll start doing it. Well, I would say, it's very nice, like you need to keep your house nice and pretty, and your husband should admire that. Like it's a nice thing, nice habit, but it shouldn't be a stressful thing for you. It has to be something you accept it and you just feel it. It's like happy and welcoming feeling of yours. Then, of course, that's a nice thing. If it is a stressful thing, he's going to scold you, he's going to ill treat you, or he's going to, some people like, we have like heard, says like he will come straight away from home, from work, and he will not even change his clothes, and he straight away he'll come and clean the house. So that will make me feel guilty. These are things like, you need to change in your activities and you need to change your behavior. But if you really want your people, like the person you are really having a relationship with, you need to explain it how you want it to be, things happen, and it has to be very smooth way of dealing all these things. So that's how I would say you need to handle these things. And the other things like unhealthy relationship, these are the signs of unhealthy relationship. What you should do is like one of you tries to control or change others. So one of the way, and then your partner doesn't respect your boundaries, and then you don't spend much time together, and the relationship feels unequal. So kind of like I was telling you earlier, that's what I was telling you exactly, where like, husband will be like doing a very good job, and like, he will be earning quite a lot of money, and he will be looking after his wife, is happily looking after his wife. That's a very nice thing. But again, if after him, the lady will be always dependent on this person, that's very bad thing, because like we have seen like here in UK, and as well as like in back home in Sri Lanka as well, what happens is when these women like they were like at home looking after their, and they've been having a very happy life like till the husband was alive, and when the husband was like passed away, they don't know how to manage their money. There is money, the money is on their name as well, there are properties on their name, but they don't have a capacity to manage all those things. They have a like hard time handling everything. They have a hard time in their like family issues, because like there were things were not shared equally, and they were not informed this is how you have to work. So these are things what I was trying to talk about in an unhealthy relationship. Yes, till the person alive, there is a healthy relationship. After he died, that person was like left as like not unhelpful person. Uh, so this is one of the thing, like I really have to inform you all, like this is kind of, you have been like you, without knowing that person, you haven't like helped that person to build the resilience, the amount of resilience she or he should have. Sometimes it happens to the man as well. What happens is in families where like the wife do everything for the person, kind of wash his clothes to like even till his underwears, this person washes, this person look after everything, this person everything. If this person becomes sick or something, and he is this person is like, this woman is admitted in the hospital, or anything happen, the person at home is in a limbo. They can't handle anything at home. They cannot manage their children. They cannot like do anything. This is what I'm trying to say. They can't do lots of things. They become a dependent. So those dependency has to be come out of your healthy relationship. If that dependency is not come out, that means it's an unhealthy relationship you're maintaining. So again, children, in my experience, there are quite a lot of like young girls and like young men come with like very big mental health issues, like kind of that's a permanent mental health issues like psychosis and schizophrenia and things like that. So when they come to us, like when we analyze them and when we look at their personality and look at their changes in their life, what happens is these people have been like trained and like brought up in a like dependency state, and the people like looking after, they have been looking after them, and they have been doing everything they wanted. They don't know how to handle money, they don't know how to handle their personal needs as well. So everything was done for them. When you do things like that, you have to face these kind of problems. So stop like bringing up like very dependent children and very dependent spouses, so which will like help you to build a like healthy relationship and satisfaction about your life. The other things like what I have to say is like negative feelings about like about a person. You talk about negative feelings, you don't like handle that person in a healthy way. That's one of the things. And then and where you don't hear the person's needs. So if you feel like if you're feeling I don't hurt by my the person in front of me, or like my husband, or like my mother or my father, it's not a very healthy relationship. And again, afraid of expressing my disagreement. So many times, like we have this, we feel loads of men and women come and talk to us saying, I don't feel like comfortable speaking to my mom. I'm not comfortable speaking to my dad. I don't feel comfortable speaking to my siblings, all these kind of things. And also their spouses, all these things, like they come and speak, and they have lots of difficulties in communicating all those issues. So the again other thing is happy, feel like I don't feel happy or comfortable around him, all those things I've been saying to you, all those things. And then is your if you ask yourself, is your relationship is healthy, like these questions you can ask yourself, how it is, how can I change my relationship? And if you say mostly answered all these questions, yes, then probably you have a strong one. Okay, so I'm not going to read these questions. Maybe you can read these questions, and let me know how you are doing. Maybe if you are comfortable, send me a personal message than this thing. What is that? Like public message. So yeah, would you like to read and send me messages before I go to the other thing? Yes, somebody is asking, do I have to accept them as they are? Yes, you have to accept them as they are. There are people who have personality differences, people who have the way they brought up as different. It can be now, if is it your spouse or somebody, she would have or he would have brought up in a different way. So you need to accept as he is, how he is. I mean, it's not you just have to accept as it is. They have to accept you as it is as well. You need to explain them. That's why you need to sit down and speak to them, and you need to you need to work on directly communicating them, not kind of blaming them. You're not supposed to blame them, but you have to sit with them and communicate. Sometimes everybody don't agree to sit with you and talk as well. So that way, you need to arrange in a different ways, make it much attractive to talk to you. So you need to be creative as that kind of. And then yeah, we'll go to the next one. So the next one, when we go to next slide, it's just few tips for you all to build up a stronger relationship. As I told you, this is not just for the husband and wife. This is for all your family, friends, children, siblings, anybody who wanted to have a kind of a relationship, how to bring a strong one. So one is you need to embrace others, they are others' differences. As I told you, you need to accept it. You need to agree with that. And then other one is kind of consider their perception, kind of look at their perspectives and consider it. And then solve problems as a team, and then ask for what you want, okay? And then equally read and listen to their desires. And other one is try something new together. So very, very badly we see like lots of like people, when you have friends, when you are a mother or a father, you never try like, new with your children. You become very stressful, like, look at your family as, oh, I have to earn for this family. I have to cook for this family. I have to look after everything. You put as like, on a bundle, and then look at all those like big bundles and like stress yourself. Don't do that. You don't have to look like thousands of money to maintain a like, family. What you have to do is like, you have to speak to your family. This is our budget. This is what we have to do. And we have to start building it. You have to start at the beginning itself, like you give everything at now, and then say, from today, I don't have this much of money. I'm not going to do anything for you. And if you put a rule in the family, it doesn't work as such. You need to talk about it, say things. There's now in pandemic now, in this condition, like lockdown condition, you guys have to face loads of hundreds of problems. There are like, lots of issues coming around. People are dying in front of you. All your relatives might be dying. Some people were taken to like, all these like, what is that? Quarantine places, and loads of issues going on in your families. So what you have to do is you have to talk about it. But like, for example, like we had a situation when we had a lockdown. We have a like friend, neighbor, very close to our family. They're from Bangladesh. So this family, what happened is like this, the husband of that family, he passed away like, on a one day. There was no, he didn't have any symptoms or nothing he had. He just, in the morning when the wife went and woke the person up, he didn't wake up. He was like, on his sleep, he passed away. So we have to, I mean, when my children looked at it, they really like got scared about it. They said, if that happens to us, what will do? How are we going to find? How are we going to manage our life? If we, because here, like, we don't have like anybody very close to us. There are friends living close to us, but then like we have to inform things like if this is happened to us. So this is something like big thing, like, as a person, like you're like grown up, you are scared as like looking at that as well. It's a big thing for y'all. So if you see like, a small child, that child will be more than 100 times scared than you. So you need to sit and talk to this person, people, like you need to tell that small heart saying, yes, this can be happen. It's true. You can't say, no, this will not happen to you. This is not going to happen. You can't say that. You don't know what is going to happen next time, isn't it? So you need to explain this. This can be happen to you as well. But there are people, these are phone numbers, you can contact them. These are like where you can deal your issues. All these things you need to sit and explain to them. You need to, don't run away from your crisis. Don't do things like that. You just face it and make a way of solving your problems. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's where you are going to bring your like children, like strong children, and you have to have a good relationship in your family. So yeah, so kind of like try new things, new way of communicating your children, new way of enjoying your life, new way of doing things, new way of dreaming things as well. Dream as together as a family. Look, my family going to be as such. When you wanted to buy a property or something, don't just say like I am a father, I'm a mother, I'm going to buy that property. You don't have any right to talk to my, there's no things to talk to my children. They are very small, they don't understand. Don't say that. go sit down with your children and say, like, we're going to buy this. This is our family thing. You shouldn't share with other people. These are things like, we have to talk about it. And it's kind of like, dream for us. So just like, we will dream about it and we save this much of money. Then they will start saving from their pocket money as well. Kind of like learn things like that and like, try to do things kind of different ways every time. And talk about your about your goal and dreams to that person, like you wanted to have very good relationship. So those are things which I have to say to you all. And if you guys wanted to say anything, you can raise your hands. Yeah, respect the family members. Somebody says like, Alhamdulillah, I feel yes for all of that. And to read the questions in the chat, Shahir. Okay.
Shall we finish the program?
Yeah, if anybody is like not willing to talk, we can finish the program. Yeah.
There is a program promotion. Shall I do it?
Yeah, you can.